What is up, guys and gals? Welcome to episode number 199 of the Nonsense Review. That's right, rest in peace, Lu Bu and Gao Shan.
Okay, so that's the year that they died, I assume.
It is indeed. They were both executed by Cao Cao.
Yep, fair enough. Well, they've been dead this entire time, but...
Yeah, to be fair, they've been dead for a lot longer than they've been alive. You got me there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a tough one, 199. I hope there's a lot more to choose from 200. This is not the first time I've just gone, hey, this person was born or this person died.
Yeah, I think 199 is the exact price of comics when I went, man, comics are getting expensive.
When I was buying comics, they were like £4.50.
Oh boy, yeah. My comics were like, there was one that was like 30p, then it was 50p, then it was 95p, that was a travesty, and when it got to like £1.99, I'm like, shit.
But yes, I'm your host as always, Devon, and joining me equally as always is Rick.
Hello, everybody.
Now then, let's do some administrative work before we get into the podcast proper. We haven't recorded for approximately 3 weeks, so that's how much news and stuff we have to catch up on.
And in response, we picked something short.
Well, you say that. We did actually pick Bluey, like, in December before you went on holiday. It's just, it just happens I was like, hey, there's a lot to talk about on this podcast, let's do Bluey, and that's when I learned it was only 9 minutes an episode.
Yep.
Speaking of Bluey, let's give you guys some background information. Its very first episode aired on the 8th of October 2018, and currently has a total of 154 episodes. No, we are not including the microsodes.
No, we're not. Apparently it's getting a movie as well.
That was the last thing I was going to end on, Rick, so thank you.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a relatively modern cartoon. I actually managed to go on a website for once, an official website. Everything else I've done research for, nothing exists, but this one does. The website itself is actually pretty nice, pretty clean. The first thing you're greeted with is a little blurb, which I will now read for you, verbatim. Bluey follows the adventures of a lovable and inexhaustible 6-year-old puppy who, along with her sister Bingo, parents and friends, is learning all about the world. I didn't know Bluey was a girl. I just assumed it was a boy dog.
I also didn't know Bluey was a girl for like 3 years.
I've got an excuse. I haven't seen it.
Yep. Yeah, so I first learned about this from my Australian cousin, who has a very small child, and was preparing things that were wholesome enough to show, but also interesting enough for them to watch without getting brain rot.
Yeah, also, I totally don't blame anyone for making the mistake that Bluey is a boy or a girl, because at the end of the day, whenever they have child characters, there's a reasonable chance that regardless of the gender of the character, they're still voiced by a girl.
Yeah. And it's the other thing is also the dad is blue and the mum is one of the red ones, so it's an easy parallel to draw.
Yeah, that is also tends to be how cartoons distinguish certain things like that. Like these are tropes, so again, I don't fault anyone. That being said, apparently all of the children in this are voiced by just straight up kids of staff.
Yeah. Even the dad is voiced by the main creator. I listened to him do an interview one time, and he just sounds like the character.
Well, the fun thing about that is like that's just kids shows.
Yeah, it's great.
Except for Peppa Pig, where the dad's played by Jason Manford, I want to say.
Sounds about right.
But yes, the website in question is pretty decent as far as a kid's website goes. It's got a few online games. It's got a bunch of ideas for imagination-based games you can play in real life with your children, which is important. And it has a news section, which for the most part just says places where Bluey's shown up, including the Macy's parade like 3 times.
Yeah. They also took over Bunnings, which is like the Australian version of like B&Q, and turned it into Hammer Barn, which is the sanitized version of B&Q for Bluey.
Sanitized version?
Well, you know, like a bland name product. Like, you don't get Google in shows, you get Booble or whatever.
Okay, but when someone says sanitized, that usually implies that the original thing needs to be toned down so children can look at it.
Yeah. The original, like, Hammer Barn isn't dirty, except for the fact that, you know, they sell soil. But yeah, it's the bland name product version of Bunnings, and then they turned Bunnings into actual Hammer Barns.
Fair enough, my dude, fair enough. But yes, the show itself is Australian in nature with British influence. It's made by an Australian team with a chunk of funding from the BBC in exchange for distribution rights, which is really weird because even though they have distribution rights, it's on Disney+.
Yeah. It might be on BBC things in like America.
Potentially,
outside of the UK. Outside of the UK, the BBC can run
lag,
ads. Yeah, there is. But yeah, outside the UK, the BBC can run ads on their things.
They should. shouldn't.
Yeah, but by the same token, like, we've already paid for it. They're just making more money out of it that way.
Fine, whatever. But yeah, as someone who's never seen the show, I always just kind of assumed it was Peppa Pig, but Australian. And during my research, wouldn't you know it, Joe Brum, the creator of Bluey, says that part of his goal was to take Peppa Pig and make it Australian. I am paraphrasing that a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. Take Peppa Pig and make it good. Because Peppa is an insufferable little shit. Just Peppa Pig herself is an insufferable little shit.
Yeah, I know. But, well, I'm vaguely aware. I've never actually watched Peppa Pig because, you know, it came out when I was an adult, and by all accounts, the only adults who watch that are people who have to watch it because they have kids. I
did watch the one episode of Brian Blessed where he's digging up the road.
Brian Blessed voices a surprising amount of cartoon characters, usually as a cameo.
Yeah, just someone large and in charge that suits a Brian Blessed voice.
Yeah. Bluey itself has won its fair share of awards, most recently a Peabody Award in 2024, which, for those of you who don't know what a Peabody Award is, it's a pretty prestigious award as far as media is concerned.
Yeah.
It does have a video game, but it looks like shit, but what do you expect for a video game based on a children's property?
Yeah, fair enough.
And last but not least, as Rick mentioned earlier, it is slated for a movie. Movie's just been announced. Apparently it will be out in 2027. Disney has taken the reins, though it's officially a project between Disney, BBC, and Ludo Studio, which is the show's current animation studio.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because one of these things, when I heard about the movie coming out, like within a very small amount of time, what was going to be the final episode came out, which was like a 31-minute special. I'm like, oh man, is this the Bluey movie? And, you know, it's got legs enough to be that, because enough happens that's, poignant and all that enough. But, it turns out it's not even the finale, because there's one after that, although it does have a bit of a flash forward in the next episode to when Bluey's grown up.
Well, that's interesting, because I would never class something that's half an hour long as a movie.
Oh, absolutely not, but compared to things that are 9 minutes, 31 is a big long time.
Yeah, no, I totally get you, but that's 3 episodes length.
Yeah, which for most things is like an hour and a half.
Okay, I just don't think it's directly comparable, you know?
Oh, no, totally not.
Also, fun fact, the movie is apparently going to be CG instead of traditional 2D animation, because I assume because Disney's got its finger in the pie.
Yeah, fair enough. But boo, because this is very charming.
That's just something I read. I don't know how true that is, so take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, that's the brief rundown on Bluey. I know usually I do like a state of the world sort of look back as far as music and movie releases is concerned. However, this was less than 10 years ago, so I ain't doing it.
Yeah. It's in living memory.
Technically, Rick, a lot of things we do is within living memory.
Okay, but it depends on how alive you were. You pick something in the late 80s. Yes, I was alive. No, I wasn't watching Predator.
Have you ever seen Predator?
No.
Yeah, okay. I'm getting ideas. Anyway, yeah, that brings us to a close on the brief little overview of Bluey. Our lag issues, knock on wood, seem to have just solved themselves, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Rick, it's been 3 weeks. What have you been doing?
Very little. I've been as you said, I went on holiday. It was nice. Went to Tenerife and we did a little bit of walking, a lot of sitting down. I probably drunk more in that week than I did in the past 2 years combined. It was, possibly the nicest hotel I've ever been to, and I could not have afforded it if I went on my own.
I do remember, night one, you sent me a message saying, and I can't remember the exact wording, I'm not scrolling up to find it, but you said, dude, the minibar's included, they have made a mistake.
Yep. However, they knew what they were doing. The only alcohol that was in the minibar was 2 beers, and it got refilled every couple of days. But for me, that meant there was 4 pops and a packet of Haribo.
I mean, truth be told,
those got refilled.
I wouldn't use the minibar anyway, because as we learned from children's cartoons, it will bankrupt you. But
oh yes,
I'd want it to be filled with pop, specifically glass bottles of Coke.
Exactly. So yeah, there were 2 of those. 1 Fanta and 1 Sprite, and they've done the Europe thing. The Fanta is now no longer radioactive orange, it's like the British Fanta.
I've never heard of this radioactive orange thing, because I guess I've never left the country. What the fuck are you on about?
So, Fanta, outside of the UK, tends to be radioactively orange and very sugary and very sweet.
So am I right in assuming that you saying radioactive orange means bright fucking orange, like not an orange you find in nature?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So,
That's concerning.
Like if you see like Keenan and Kel loves orange soda, it's that kind of orange. It's like
Fuck off.
Nickelodeon orange.
Who would drink that? I say who would drink that, but I drink Coca-Cola regularly, and that's also not a colour of something you should be drinking.
Yeah, it's like the colour of swamp sludge, and not a flavour that you find in nature, unlike oranges.
This is true.
Like technically, you can get a cola nut, but like there are other fruits in there, and they just have a blend. And when they make Coke with lemon, that's not strictly true. It's just with more lemon than the regular Coke.
Oh, you're peeling back the curtain here, Rick.
Yeah, I am.
Revealing the company secrets of Big Coke.
Yeah, Big Coke. Only downside of this holiday was that you had to book everything in the hotel, possibly because they were wise to people. Some people getting all-inclusive and some people getting zero food, and the all-inclusive person went up to the buffet 6 times.
Okay, I get what you're saying here, but like that's something they do at Butlins, and that's not even a fucking a posh, expensive thing. It's just like, yeah, we need to make sure people aren't abusing our system.
Yeah, but booking breakfast for a time, though.
Yeah, I'll admit, that's not even weird. I mean, yeah, it is, isn't it, compared to Britain? Because usually if you book breakfast, you go up, you say your room number, you prove that you are the person in that room, and then it's just like show up between 9 and 12.
Yeah, in Britain, booking breakfast is, oh yeah, I confirm that I paid for it, and yeah, you show up sometime when it's serving, and it's a buffet, so it's not like you're going to get people bringing like eggs Benedict and caviar to your table or anything.
Man, have I told you of the time when we went to Butlins, and it wasn't until the final day, the final morning, where we were we had to, the train we were taking home didn't arrive till like midday, so we were like, oh, let's have breakfast at Butlins and just mooch about, and we went to the breakfast buffet, and we were like, oh, could we have one buffet each, please? And they were like, yeah, sure, what room are you staying in? And we gave them the room, and they said, oh, okay, yeah, so you have breakfast included in your package, and we were like, excuse me, you fucking what?
Yep.
That was the last morning of our trip, and we were like, we've been paying for breakfast at like fucking Spa. and we didn't have to. What?
Yeah, bothersome.
One of my buddies, I shit you not, upon learning this fact, ate 3 breakfasts.
Yep. I mean, you would, wouldn't you? Like, you even if you don't eat 3 breakfasts, you just pick and choose exactly what you want. You just go like mono bacon and 2 hash browns.
I mean, I did do that morning. That morning, I had sausage sandwiches, but with twice the amount of sausages that I should have had.
Yeah, sausage stackers, where you put them the other way so that they don't roll on each other.
Okay,
yeah.
So here's what actually occurred in that instance: is when I make a sausage sandwich, I take 1 sausage and I cut it in half, and that's half the sandwich.
Yeah.
In this occasion, I just had 2 sausages in each half the sandwich.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fucking
so you're not
bastard.
gendering sausages.
Nah, just fat.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been playing more Dragon Age Veilguard. I'm on part maybe 10 of 14, and I've got all but one of the characters to hero status, and I don't think the final character is getting to hero status because their influence improvements slow down because of something that happens early on.
Mild spoiler, Rick, they will, but you have no control over it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those where they just sort of ping that person up because you can't. You've pissed them off because of that decision you made earlier in the game.
Yeah, and now they're banging one of the other love interests, which is fine.
It's fine. Apparently both of those love interests aren't that interesting.
Yeah. I think they're more interesting to watch get down and dirty with each other instead.
You're giving it a lot more credit than it is. It's incredibly tame.
Oh, it's incredibly tame. It's tame and it's sweet. The other one that's tame and sweet is Tarshan Harding.
Well, here's the thing is, I don't want to be told anything about this because I'm going to experience it in my second game because I romanced the shit out of Tarsh.
Yeah, fair enough. The little statement that I got that was really fun was just, please get there quicker, Harding.
Dirty.
So yeah, I finally locked in with Bellara, and she's very sweet, but she seems to forget that you're in a romance quite a lot, which is very on brand for Entraptor.
Dude, like, I remember when I've played, I didn't blitz through it, but I played through the first opening bit when you were still having quite a few troubles just getting the damn thing to run, and my exact words were, "Oh, Rick, I just met Entraptor," and you were like, "What do you mean?" I went, "You'll know what I mean when you get to them."
Yep, and I did. she's a joy. She's a pleasure. Been generally enjoying the game so far. I think it really ramps up when you're able to do all of the personal quests.
Yeah,
because I think so far those have basically been the highlight so far.
It's the only part of the game that's okay. I think the final mission is fine, but I've got issues with pretty much everything in this game. While also, I don't hate the game, I just don't think it's Dragon Age.
Yeah. Dragons piss me off, by the way, as well.
The dragon fights in this aren't great, however, you have a much worse time when you're not a mage.
Oh boy, yeah, I can understand that, yeah.
When you're a mage, a lot of the fights are actually really easy. The moment I became warrior, a lot of the fights that I pissed in my first playthrough, I was like, why is this hard now?
Yeah, apparently if you go Grey Warden, it becomes okay, because you can actually perfect block the red attacks.
Fuck off! That's busted!
Yeah. Yeah, Grey Warden specifically, and only Grey Warden can block red attacks.
That's fine. That's the specialization that my warrior's gone through, because they're a Grey Warden.
Yeah. Is a Grey Warden, becomes a Grey Warden, stays a Grey Warden.
The only downside is I had to swap over from my Great Weapon style that I was liking to the Shield style, because the Grey Warden style is, you're Blackwall now.
Yep. And, at least it plays into, you can block your reds.
Yeah, true. I didn't know that was a feature you'd get. That's really cool.
Yeah, it might be one of the level 30 or level 40 ones that you have to, grind to. But
I suspect that's the case, because basically when you first unlock a specialization, you'll be aware of this by now, Rick, because I'm sure you're already in your tree, where...
Yeah, you get like 4 pips, and then at level 30 you get another 3 pips, and then at level 40 you get another 3 pips.
Yeah, so obviously, when you unlock the new thing, you get a new ultimate, and you get a new skill, and then you get these little passives, and then you gotta wait.
Yeah. The passive for the Mage Knife Antivan Crow that's really good is anything that's got the blast type becomes 50 mana instead of 100 mana.
That is awesome, actually.
Yeah, it's really good. It means that your mana bar is literally twice as long, and any plus 50 is like plus a spell instead of plus half a spell.
Yeah, my build by the end of the game for my mage was just entirely focused on making 1, my mana bar higher, and 2, making my mana regen incredibly fast.
Yeah. Well, I also went and got the thing from Up by the Morn Watcher that lets you just go do like L1 and square, and you just like sit there doing a Budokai charge and just charging your mana really fast.
I didn't know that existed.
Well, it does. So if you do another mage run...
I'm not... Here's the thing, Rick. I'm on the PS5. I'm only allowed 3 characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So it means you're gonna have to delete a character where everything's done just to try things again. Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, I very much doubt that I will play a third playthrough of this game. Shit, my second playthrough, I haven't even beaten Weishaupt yet.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I can say that now because I know you've beaten it now.
Yeah, I know Weishaupt is there. My second playthrough has just done the first fuck off dragon bit.
Honestly, does that mean you've seen both results?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think it's one of those where unless you are in the Shadow Dragons, you're not going to choose the Shadow Dragon option.
Here's the thing, having seen what happens when you pick to save Treviso over Minrathous, I don't ever want to save Treviso again.
You don't want to save Treviso again?
No.
Alright, fair enough.
Oh, you seen the result? Have you seen who gets fucked up because of it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whereas in Treviso, the country's fucked, but no one you know actually gets killed. Well, I say killed. I don't know if he gets killed, but like he's pretty fucked up, the person who gets fucked up.
Yeah, he's not great. He's not great.
I did that I'm sorry to cut you short, but I did that bit as my Grey Warden, and because he's infected with blight, I got a special option that says I can just recruit you in air quotes to the Grey Wardens and maybe save you, and the guy's just like, fuck off. It's so good.
Like, I appreciate him saying fuck off. I appreciate you being allowed to do that. But also, the other one is, there's just like a medic near Weishaupt who's done the same thing. Got blighted while treating someone. And then the wardens were like, well, we don't expect you to fight, but we can let you do the joining so you don't die and you can save more lives. And he goes, yeah, cool.
Yeah, completely ignoring the fact that there's a solid chance that the joining will kill you anyway.
Oh, totally.
I feel like they
Especially
skip
when
over
you're already
that a
blighted.
lot.
Oh, they skip over it entirely these days. Like, these days it's like, if you're not mired Myri or Sir Davith, then
it's not Davith, mate.
Fine.
It's Jory.
No, you shanked the Jory.
Oh yeah, you're right. My apologies. Yeah, no, you're totally right.
Myri.
Here's the
Davith
problem.
And Myri.
Is you said Sir Davith.
Oh yeah. Davith is just the guy. Sir Jory is the one who gets shanked.
No, that's totally that's totally fine. But that's why I was like, it's Jory, because I was like, I heard the Sir and I ignored the rest of the fucking conversation. I was like too eager to say, "You're wrong, sir. I'm the bigger Dragon Age autist."
Also, it's so annoying how deflated all of the returning ladies are. Like Morrigan and especially Isabella. Isabella was like a tall Rouge the Bat, and now she's not.
Rick, every single character in this game who is a returning character, except for maybe Harding, is so watered down and no point in bringing them back. And I'd even argue that Harding is shit.
Yeah, Harding is a completely new character, essentially.
Yeah, it's so weird, but we're getting very much into detail on this. We need to do a fucking Velguard podcast as soon as you finish the game.
Yep. Other games that I've been playing, very little, despite having been given a couple. You sent me the Kingdom Hearts pack, for instance.
Yes, I did. My exact comment when I gifted this was "Merry Christmas," and then in brackets, "Ha ha ha, now you have to play it."
Yeah, homework. Yeah, so at some point this year, probably a Kingdom Hearts something or other.
I will tell you this for free though, Rick. Kingdom Hearts 1 is very shit.
It's okay. Apparently it was good enough that people went rabid enough, and therefore that's alright.
It was a fine game, but then Kingdom Hearts 2 happened.
Yeah. I guess it's like people going, "Oh man, Sonic Adventure 2, so much better than Sonic Adventure 1, which for some people is true.
In this, you can't even argue it. Kingdom Hearts 2 is better both plot-wise and just straight up, it is just a straight upgrade as far as combat goes.
Yeah. But yes, I'm not really going to be talking much about my weeks other than that, because not really much happened. So let's get into the crossover of week and world, which is things that came out and we both saw. So we both went and see Sonic 3. I think you guys saw it before I did.
We saw it on day one.
Yeah, I was away.
Yeah, here's the thing, Rick, is you kept sending me a bunch of fan art of Rouge the Bat in compromising positions, and then you said, "Boy, a lot of artists are drawing Rouge lately," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, is that really a spoiler?" No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. So yeah, it was a kind of watered down retelling of Sonic Adventure 2. They changed a few things, obviously. Like Professor Gerald is meant to be dead for 50 years at this point, but here he is. So Jim Carrey can collect 2 paychecks, and we knew he was showing up because he was in the trailer.
Here's the thing, Rick, is I'm going to describe this film how I've described it to everybody, and that is, boy, is this a bad movie, but boy, is it fun.
Oh, totally. Absolutely.
The script is shit, but I don't care, it's fun.
Yeah, it's garbage, but it's enjoyable garbage.
I cannot believe the human character has survived 3 movies.
Yeah. At least I think they're learning and putting the humans in less, because in the second movie, the humans were really shoehorned in and it really stuck out. This time round, yeah, they're here. They the furries leave the humans and then bring them back in when they need them to do a thing, not when they want the humans to be on screen because they're cheaper.
I will say this, boy did they puss out on the Maria scene.
Yeah. No one shot Maria. Somebody shot a tank, and of the 3 people in the blast radius of the tank, Maria's the only one that dies.
Yeah, I've worked that one out.
Yeah. They don't even bring up that she was sick or anything.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, because I think part of the whole reason of it being on Space Colony Arc was that she was weak, and having low gravity made it easier for her to live.
Yeah, it made her easier to do things because she didn't have to exert her body as much. That was my understanding as well.
Yeah.
Now, I need to stress to everybody, I am nowhere near as much of a Sonic fan as Rick or one of the guys I went to watch the movie with. I've never played Sonic Adventure 2. I played Shadow the Hedgehog, so my knowledge of Maria is entirely from that game.
Yeah, where you've got 2 missions about, one where she dies and the other one where she's just kicking about.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure
she's your friend character in one of those, yeah.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure one of the final missions, it's revealed that she's just a ghost the whole fucking time.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, Sonic's dumb.
It is.
Sonic's dumb,
It's
and
totally
anyone who goes into one of these movies looking for a masterclass of storytelling is a fool.
Yeah. Like the only masterclass they can do is a masterclass of retelling a shit script in an interesting way. And I think they did a reasonable way of doing that. Like, they've played around with the power sets of the characters already. Like, the fact that Sonic has a power is kind of different to normal. Like, yeah, he has a bit of a blue aura, but that's just to mask the fact that they're not good at making a ball character out of a character with limbs when he's jumping. So they just give him a blue aura to make it less obvious that they're mashing everything to a circle.
Also, this was like, what, a fucking Sega game?
Yeah.
Like, things didn't look good anyway. There's all sorts of tricks that, when you know them, spoils old games to a certain degree.
Yeah, like even in the first Mario, the trees are just clouds that are green.
I am well aware of this fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, boy, someone who was choreographing that end fight scene sure does like Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and very much definitely did probably play the final zone of Sonic Adventure 2. Because like the when the robots got let out, that was pretty much one for one a shot of when the Bio-Lizard just like farts out a bunch of balls and you just got to deal with them.
I'm taking your word for that, my dude, because again, I didn't play it.
Yeah, like a lot of the shots are like one for one recreations of things that happen in the Dreamcast / GameCube game. Like, even Shadow picking up his gun while he's on the motorbike, that's kind of a Shadow the Hedgehog, the game.
Oh,
shot.
yeah, I was flipping out during that, because I'm like, oh my god, they actually let him have a gap.
Yep, and that's why it's a PG.
Yeah, that scene had me, I was like, yeah, cool, great. What do you think of that post-credit scene? Not the post-credit scene, the mid-credit scene, I suppose.
Well, the mid-credit scene is just, okay, Shadow is now back on Earth, he picks up his ring, and he's like,
nope.
I'm having my thing back.
Nope.
Oh no, that's the super post-credit one. Yeah, okay. The mid-credit one is the one with Metal Sonic and Amy. It's weird that there are so many Metal Sonics.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Is I was just like, oh, cool, Metal Sonic. I know him. The mutual friend of ours who's a Sonic fan, you know the guy. He said, and I quote, "It's really weird introducing Metal Sonic after Shadow because Metal Sonic ain't shit." And then about 2 seconds later, Amy fucking completely obliterates like 10 of them, and it's like, oh, okay, that now makes sense. And I was like, is that true? I thought Metal Sonic was a big deal.
It's conservation of ninjutsu. One Metal Sonic is a big deal. Many Metal Sonics means they're all jobbers.
Okay.
It's like Metacooler. Like, cooler is an obstacle. 1,000 Metacoolers, not a problem.
I kind of get what you're saying. It's just, Rick, we watched a fucking entire movie where the only threat was Metal Sonic. So this is my fucking frame of reference of, oh, this is a big deal, and then he terminated himself because he's a bitch.
Yeah. He gets his own line of there's only one Sonic, and he's just goes into lava because he can't be arsed.
It might as well just gone dun 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 as you were sinking. And he just got Knuckles in the background wearing his fucking hat for no reason.
Yeah, we don't know why. Still, we don't know.
He's also tiny in that movie.
Yeah, so back in the day, Knuckles was just the same size as everyone else. It's only recently that they made Knuckles massive.
Yeah, but he should be bigger than everyone because his big deal is he punches hard.
Yeah, and like in the British Sonic comic, as soon as Knuckles showed up, Sonic stopped curling into balls and spin attacking things. He started punching things instead to show that he was just as good as Knuckles at punching things.
That's something he would totally do. I want to give a shout out, by the way, because Idris Elba continues to be just fucking great as Knuckles.
Yeah, he does. I love that like deadpan delivery that he gives, to the point that this is another thing that happened to me. I got contacted by somebody who is a fan of someone who I am a friend and fan of, my VTuber friend, to spoiler for her in case she listens, I'm pretty sure she won't, do a friend dub of Sonic Adventure 2, and I was contacted to be Knuckles, and I'm going to do the Idris Elba Knuckles.
It's better than the Ugandan Knuckles, so...
Yeah, I'm not doing Ugandan Knuckles. Hedgehog. Hello, Hedgehog and Tails.
I remember, like, you know that Devil Artemis shit I've shown you?
Yeah.
Cell had a recent encounter, well, I say recent, it was like half a year ago, where he encountered Sonic, Knuckles and Tails, but from the movies, and he just has a fucking PTSD panic flashback at seeing Knuckles, and here's Ugandan Knuckles in his head, so he decks him.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people are clamoring for there being a bit of a reversal of fates with Sonic and Amy, because Amy traditionally has just been a super simp for Sonic wanting to be his girlfriend and all that. And I think people kind of want to see things the other way around this time a little bit.
Who cares? It's a movieverse. Let them do what they want.
Yeah.
Like, they've established that Amy is some kind of mystical warrior of fate, so, like, she's automatically more badass from the get-go than she normally is.
Yeah, she's a strong, independent hammer bro who don't need no man. But yes. I would no. If we're going to talk more about Sonic, let you talk about Sonic.
No, it's fine. It was a shit reference. Go on, move.
Next one. I sent you a message last night, and I think the actual wording was, shit, I gotta watch Tadek and Heluka.
I like the Haluka.
Yes, I like the Haluka. So, yes, between then and now, I watched both the Amazing Digital Circus episode 4 and Hell of a Boss season 2 episode 6.
Episode 6?
Was it episode 6?
No, it's episode 12, the finale.
Is it episode 12? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I watched those. And
which one do you want to start with?
They were both... we'll start with the Amazing Digital Circus. Because
cool.
I think the Hell of a Boss one was slightly better.
I hard disagree, but we'll move on.
Okay, as you would expect from a finale, but yeah. Digital Circus, you have it's a Gangle episode, which is it's interesting that they're doing episodes that are not just focusing on Pomni now, and I'm all for it.
Well, only the first episode really focused on Pomni. Well, the first episode introduced the cast, because we'll take the pilot as the first episode, but the first episode was a Pomni episode. It seems every episode is focusing on a character, even though the third one kind of split the focus between Zubul and Kinga.
Yeah. Like, Pomni was with Kinga, so I'd still think it was kind of Pomni Kinga until they cut away to just Zubul stuff. Zubul's now kind of in the core cast again, as opposed to, sitting things out again, which is kind of cool. It's nice to see it, like, or them kicking about.
Yeah, they very much firmly put their foot down that every character calls them they, including Jax, and he's an asshole, so...
Yeah. If I slip up, it's because the voice actor sounds one way or the other. I apologize.
I'm not criticizing, I'm just explaining.
Yep. And yeah, it was Gangle being given a fake face because her first face got broken at the beginning of the episode. Like, her face breaks all the time, but yeah, getting the fake face that is like fake happy was a kind of like a cute little dynamic to see.
You say cute little dynamic, even though it was a really on the nose visualization of hey, putting on a happy front's a bad thing to do. Like, they weren't subtle with this at all, and considering the nature of the show, they really fucking shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's not even a bad thing to do, it's just a bad thing to do all the time.
I don't know, man. I feel like forcing yourself to smile and appear confident and happy all the time when you're clearly fucking not is a bad thing to do.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a bad thing to do. It's just a bad thing to do all the time.
I'd argue it's even a bad thing to do some of the time. Like, it's like the only time people really do it and they think they should do it is when they're at work, which is the point of the episode, I suppose. But even then, it's like, dude, fucking chill.
Yeah. What was it, David Mitchell one of, also you have to pretend to give a shit.
You only have to pretend to give a shit for about 3 years and then you get a pass.
Yeah, you become more costly to fire.
Like, here's the thing, it's like, I've worked in retail for a fucking long time, and working in retail and fast food really is not a million miles apart. And it's just like, watching this, it's like, it broke my soul.
Yeah.
It's too real.
Like, overall, I liked the episode. It was good that they had all the characters that mattered all together, and I do like how Ragatha...
Bear in mind, Kinga sat this one out.
Yeah, he did. Like, I like how he just did this. Oh, well, if I sit this one out, then you can go in my place. That's not how this works. That's how this works.
I will say some behind the scenes stuff, which is slightly bugging me, is two things in particular. Is one, the creator was asked, hey, can characters die? And the creator straight up said, they can't die, but they can feel pain. And it's like, cool, that's horrifying. Especially considering what happened to Ragatha with Jax at the beginning.
Yeah, getting deep fried.
Oh, fuck that. That is a fate worse than death.
And they had a conversation while being deep fried.
Yeah, they did.
It's not even a get her out of there right now. It's you shouldn't do that.
And the other thing is apparently they described Kane as Am if Am wasn't quite so psychotic, I guess. And it's like, I don't think you read the original short story.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, here's the annoying thing about that is, what I've seen so far, that cannot be even remotely true. However, that is very much spoiling what's going to happen down the line if what they've said is true. Because one of the subtexts of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is straight up that Am is being tortured just as much as the people he's torturing. So that seems to be what the implication is. And I need to know more. I don't like learning that information from behind the scenes bullshit.
Yeah, I think it was actually kind of implied that he's, even early on, that he's just as much of a prisoner as everyone else. It just so happens that he's the top prisoner and happens to be an AI rather than a human.
Well, we speculated upon this, and again, it's just a really annoying thing that it seems that I'm not slagging off the creator here, I don't mean to, they can do what they want on their fucking Tumblr. But, it's slightly annoying to come across this information randomly on the internet as opposed to being able to decipher it from watching the show and that alone.
Yeah.
And it's not even the creator's fault. It's other people sharing their shit all over the internet. But yeah, anyway, sorry, you were going to say something about Ragatha.
Like, I think it was kind of cute that Ragatha just goes, yeah, she's flirting with Gummy Goo.
It's not how it went down, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, no, she'd rather flirt with an NPC than with a person. The implication being that she wanted to be flirted with.
Yeah,
it's fine. The shipping is strong with this one.
Yeah, and also saying, Jax, I hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. Is that weird?
Jax does himself no favours.
No, he doesn't.
It was very weird at the end of the episode, wasn't it? Where Jax was actually defeated.
Yeah, like, if he showed that side of himself more often, then people wouldn't hate him as much as they do.
Absolutely not. But that training video.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
When did you
Why
make
aren't you
this?
smiling? Yeah, there's some oddly specific things of your hopes and dreams might be hopes and dreams, but they don't matter because they're not achievable. So welcome to fast food.
Yeah, so that's not a dig at artists everywhere, is it?
Yeah.
It's not a joke that's been done before.
Yeah, it's not a joke that's been done before, especially in California. Like, people that go to CalArts learn how to be an artist and then have to go work the wait tables.
My first thought actually goes to I think it was called Space, the Simon Pegg show.
Oh, the one where like the universe thinks that they're actual space heroes.
No. It's just a bunch of fucking dudes, and Simon Pegg's character happens to work at a comic book shop.
Okay.
So they're a bunch of nerds. I can't remember if it's called Spaced. I just feel like it's called Spaced. But there's an episode where the love interest woman character goes for a job at basically McDonald's, and they do one Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest, where it's like, I'm going to be a writer someday, and it's just like the manager comes in and goes, oh, you think you're the only one who's going to have an artistic job in the future? Look around you. And everyone says they're this and they're that, and then she goes, even you, Todd. And Todd's like this teenager with incredibly special needs. It's like, I'm a comic book writer. It's such a horrible joke, but it's so true. Yeah. The amount of people you see working menial jobs are people who have artistic ambitions, so they don't try to climb the ladder, because what's the point?
Yeah, totally. But yeah, anything more to say about Amazing Digital Circus?
I mean, like, just straight up with that artistic ambitions things, it even applies to Gangle, where she admits that in the real world she was an artist, but she was also a manager for a fast food chain, you know? These are sacrifices we have to... Do we want to be working these menial, fucked up jobs? No, of course we don't.
Yeah. And I also thought it was kind of cute that Zubul gave her the mask out of her personal storage of spare parts.
Yeah,
because like their spare parts. Reinventing themselves with new parts is like kind of their thing until they find a form that they're comfortable with, which may not happen during the entire show.
It's one of those weird ones, it really is. Zubul's in that weird place where we've seen so little of them that I really don't understand their deal, apart from the fact that they're sick of this shit.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and quite frankly, I don't know how they're not all sick of this shit. I guess Jax and Ragatha both have the attitude of, like, it's better than sitting around and doing nothing. Kinger's insane, so his opinions don't matter. That's a fucked up thing to say, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I know, though, like, I've dealt with people with dementia and things like that before, and as much as you like being with them when you see the best of them. You know that they're not going to remember anything that they tell you.
I don't... yeah, okay, I get it. Kinga's in a weird place, so we'll leave it at that. Gangle can't actually function.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We've seen this now. Like, in every adventure, they just can't. They managed to do okay in this one because they had the fake personality and mask to throw on, but as soon as they got rid of that fake personality, they killed themselves.
Well, not only did they kill themselves, they also did it with a smile. It was the first actual smile that they'd had.
Yeah, and it bumped them down from an A to a B+ because Kane's just so nice.
But then again, Kane also gave everyone a B+, including Jax.
Yeah, and including someone who I didn't recognise. There was a picture on the back wall that was not part of the main gang.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I
can watch it.
I wasn't quite sure what the face was, and I watched the Netflix version, by the way, and I don't know if they're doing this weird thing where, depending on what version you watch, you get slightly different details.
That'd be kind of cool, actually. I also watched the Netflix version because I want to give them the Netflix traction.
That's exactly... Like, one, that's my logic too, and two, I actually really prefer Netflix's UI to YouTube's.
Fair.
It's also easier to watch on a telly.
True. I prefer web pages to apps, but that's just me.
Okay, but again, when I'm watching on the TV, they're both apps.
Yeah. You got to open the YouTube app to do YouTube things.
Yeah, and I don't have a smart TV, so I'm actually doing it via the fucking Virgin box, which is even more annoying.
Or the PlayStation, yeah.
Yeah. The last thing I want to mention is Gummy Goo, because obviously the rest of the cast have a much more wider range of familiar NPCs because they've been on more adventures. Pomni's got a very special connection to Gummy Goo, and there's this weird moment where Gummy Goo's about to leave, and Pomni says something to catch his attention, and for a split second, and I don't know if this is like wish fulfillment or wishful thinking, but Gummy Goo's eyes make a weird shape, as if he recognises Pomni, and is just like, you gotta fucking let me go, otherwise Kane's gonna do fucked up stuff.
Yeah, like, you got me killed once.
I don't think Gummy Goo even remotely blames Pomni for that.
No. Like, because she didn't know that NPCs got immediately deleted as soon as Kane caught them.
Yeah, and it's also an important detail that the reason why Kane deletes every NPC between adventures is because otherwise, according to him, he'll forget who's real.
Yep.
That's a very important detail not to be overlooked.
Yep.
Rick, let's talk about Haluva Boss.
Yeah, so I love how Octavia is in Blitz's phone as Via, in brackets, Stola's bird daughter.
I didn't notice that. However,
I also
watched
it this morning, so
I was going to say I watched this episode when it came out, so it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah. The thing that kind of bugs me about this is Octavia not being able to, read the situation where Stolas has been trying to get into contact with her for all the time that Stella has been like laughing at it, going, it's hilarious.
Well, this is the thing that's been bugging me a lot as well, is because a lot of people are giving people shit for being like, I don't understand why Via's doing XYZ, but without acknowledging the fact that I can totally be on board with Via being pissed off at Stolas. I totally get it. I just don't understand why she is not also directly pissed off at Stella.
Oh yeah, totally. Absolutely. I also don't know why she's looking at these antidepressants and going, was I the reason you had to take these? Well,
because she's a dumb
Stella
teenager.
A free pass. And she's giving Stella a free pass.
Yeah, it's really bothersome. Now, I don't know if they just didn't have time to show her getting pissy at Stella, or they're trying to subtly tell us that she's more scared of Stella than she is mad, which is totally a possibility. But this episode has shit on one preconception that I had, and that was, despite all of Stella's flaws, I thought Stella still gave a shit about Via. No, she fucking doesn't, and that bothers me, because that means the villain has no redeeming qualities. And I do realise the hypocrisy that's coming out of my mouth, because I know how many times I say I miss villains with which are just pieces of shit, but there are fundamental qualities that even pieces of shit usually have.
Yeah, and it's usually caring about their family.
Like, it's the one thing I thought Stella had going for her, and it's like, no, she's totally irredeemable. So it's now just like, cool, they're entirely the bad guys. I kind of don't care anymore. Now, I don't mean that I'm not going to watch the show anymore or anything like that. I'm not a fucking melodramatic piss babby, but it's just, okay, cool, so the plot of season 3 is going to be Stolas trying to get back his position, I guess.
Yeah, or get a position, even if it's not his original one. He gets some new position.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, dealing with being poor.
Yeah, Stolas needs to learn this. Because again, it's one of those where I'm shitting on the Stella aspect. I will give props for the Stolas aspect, because it's something I don't think people fully appreciate. Because we as an audience in general like Stolas, because we can see that deep down he does care for Blitz, etc. But he needs to readjust his worldview. Like, we even learned in this fucking episode that his diet is very strictly controlled and completely handled by other people.
Yeah, and his view on fun is, we don't have fun. Fun is free. We can pay for nice things.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. It was a bit weird, Blitz having the sort of the exact same thing he gave Moxie shit for in the first episode. It's almost as if characters can grow.
Yeah, and also Millie's pregnant.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk about the fan base on this one because I think the fan base is a lot younger than I gave them credit for. Okay, so I appreciate you may not be. I have to go on Twitter several times a week to share the link of the podcast, which is probably fruitless and no one ever sees those, but I do it anyway. So I do just go down webs, and the percentage of the fan base is higher than I would have thought, that immediately went, why is Millie so nervous about learning she's pregnant? Did she cheat on Moxie? It's like, no, she fucking didn't. She just found out she's pregnant. This is a very normal reaction to that.
Yeah, like not knowing how world is going to go now that things are, your life is going to change.
And like, oh dude, isn't it wild in retrospect watching Moxie just fucking shoot the shit out of her at the beginning of the episode?
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, but yeah, it's just like, yeah, no, that's perfectly normal. Like, it really is. Like, they are not financially secure. They've shown time and time again that Millie and Moxie, they don't even live paycheck to paycheck. They more or less live fucking day by day sometimes on Blitz's whims. It was only like 2 episodes ago where the company was making no money because Blitz was depressed.
Yeah, totally.
Less than making no money. Blitz was pissing it away.
Yeah, all these horses, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. It's very wild. The only thing I care about is that I hope Millie at least tells Moxie before a decision is made.
Yeah.
Because while it is entirely a Millie decision to make, I think Moxie does. I've always had this stance of, your body, your choice, you do whatever the fuck you want. I think if you're in a proper relationship, you should at least tell your partner what's happening. Obviously, I don't expect that of people in, fucked up relationships where there is not it's not a couple,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like everybody needs to be on the same page about that when it's an equitable relationship, when everyone really should be having a say.
Well, I think the partner should be informed if it's a loving relationship. I still think the decision at the end of the day entirely rests on the woman's shoulders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I digress. Millie and Moxie seem to have a fairly healthy relationship as far as hell goes, so I'm hoping that doesn't become a fighting point, between the pair.
Yeah, a healthy relationship indeed.
Let's talk about that fight scene.
Yeah, it was cool, wasn't it?
The coolest moment of the scene was just Stolas approaching, I keep wanting to call him Adolphus, but I'm not sure if that's his name.
Yeah, I also don't know his name, don't care. Iceman.
Yeah, Icebird.
Icebird, yeah. Articuno.
Icebird is just fucking laughing as Stolas approaches, and then Stolas fucking beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's just like, if magic is not involved, Stolas will kick the shit out of you, is what we've learned.
Yeah, and it's one of those, like, Articuno only starts fighting back with magic once he's actually had the shit beaten out of him and, like, been bleeding black and everything.
And I also want to point out, me saying that, we also know that Stolas would beat the shit out of you if magic was involved, because Via can beat you, and she's just Stolas, but not quite as adept at the magic part yet.
Yeah, like mini Stolas, yeah.
God damn. Yeah, the fight scene was animated beautifully. Adolphus is just shit.
Yeah. Like, he can't do anything on his own. He has to make his ice do things for him. And apparently that ice can just be beaten by one sword.
Yeah, it's very telling that he's a schemer and nothing more than that. It's also, again, a little bit disappointing that this is half of your main antagonist at this point.
Yeah. At this point, at least.
Yeah, I mean, what other threat can there be? Like, Satan's not going to get involved in this petty bullshit any more than he already has done.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's a bit disappointing. I don't know, maybe I'll be surprised. I by no means think this is a bad show, and I don't think it's like, I'm no longer watching because it's shit now. Still great. It's just, there's some questions that were not satisfactorily answered. I will say seeing Blitz and Stolas dance at the end was very cute.
Yeah, and the whole thing of, I had to get creative, and you're very creative. Well, I'm only as creative as you are flexible. flexible.
Dirty.
Yes. It was very sweet. It was very sweet.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the happy ending of Stola, Splits, Via, and Luna being one big family is probably still going to be the end goal. I say, hopefully clutching at straws. It depends how bitter Via gets. Via's of the impression that she won't see Stolas again for 100 years when she's already proven she can see him whenever the fuck she wants.
Yeah, it's weird, ain't it?
I don't know, man. It's one of those annoying things. I'm not a fan of that particular direction of it. I get it. Via sees it as Stolas chose Blitz over Via, which is true, but it's also like, not really, is it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he chose to give up his powers for 100 years, or however long the fucking sentence was, in exchange for them not killing Blitz. And the only reason you couldn't run and see your father immediately is because Stella literally stopped you.
Yeah, and took your phone away.
And also, if your case was, you got, okay, Dad, me, or and Blitz dies, or Blitz doesn't die and I leave you alone, that's a shitty choice to make someone make.
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
That's not a, you can see him or you can see me. That's a, he dies or you never see me again. That's fucked. And the only factor making this not awful is Octavia is, I can't remember if she's 19 or 17. She's one or the other side of 18, and I can't remember which one.
Yeah, me either. I think she might be 17 because I think Luna died at 17 and is now 19.
I thought Luna was in her early 20s.
She might be in her early 20s now, but yeah.
Whatever. Either way, Via's a dumb kid, and that's the only pass she's getting.
Yeah. I also never noticed that she had a crown on her beanie before.
That might be new.
It might be new. But yes, is that it for this one?
I think so.
Yeah. Other thing that's happened out in the world, Sarah's Fauna from Hololive English Gen 2 is graduating at the same time that Chloe Sakamata from JP Gen 6 is graduating and becoming an affiliate. So this is telling us that Fauna graduating is not as amicable as any of the others because she's not allowed to come back in any way.
Okay. I was vaguely aware that Fauna was graduating based on the fact that there's a bunch of fan art of her. Chloe's the killer whale, right?
Yeah, the one that doesn't shower.
Yeah, the one who's a big old pervert.
Yeah. Well, they're all perverts, but yeah, she doesn't bathe, and apparently she smells really good, according to Callie.
Yeah, but Callie's all kinds of fucked up. Look at her diet.
Yeah.
Want my bubble
Chicken
gum
sandwich.
and my cake.
Yeah, chicken sandwich, bubble gum, sugar cake, and beer.
I appreciate the honesty, but it's fucked.
Yeah. Actually, no, not so much beer. I think she's more of a wine drunk and a whiskey drunk.
I couldn't tell you, Rick. I'll be the first to hold my hand up and say you know more about this than I do.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some heartbreaking things that Fauna said. Like, it's things like, I'm not graduating because I don't want to be an idol, and things along those lines. Basically, that she's being forced out because of some decision or other. Possibly that she can't get to Japan quite as often as the company wants her to, and the company has gone, well, shit, if you're not doing what we want, then we don't want you.
I mean, again, I think a lot of people who follow VTubers don't fully appreciate how much like idols they want to treat their cast.
Yeah, and
if you don't toe the line, you're fucking gone.
And the other thing is, because they're keeping something secretive, and it's their right to do so, it means all we can do is speculate. And if things are not being laid out well, then we're going to speculate in a less favourable way, really.
Well, and here's the thing is, as with most staff who suddenly get let go in some kind of entertainment company, 9 times out of 10 there's an NDA involved.
Yeah, totally.
And
however, people have found her other channel, so that went from like no subscribers to like 300,000 in a couple of days.
That's fine, man. I hope she bounces back on her feet. I don't wish ill on anybody, and I don't know enough about the scenario to condemn anyone, so
Yeah.
Best of luck to her.
Yeah, absolutely. Best of luck to her. And at time of recording, the graduation is today, so peeling back the curtain a little bit.
That means the graduation was on Friday just gone, the 3rd of January.
Yep. And the last thing is going to be the Steam Awards. Do you want me to do these, or do you want to do them on yours?
Well, you're hosting the segment, Rick, so on the fly editing, guys.
Yeah, so Steam Awards. Game of the Year goes to Wukong.
Yeah, so of the finalists, I get it. It won the actual awards, so... No, it didn't. That was our fucking A-bot thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. You got to bear in mind, these Steam Awards are entirely dictated by player votes. There's a lot of people who wanted this to win, aka China.
Yeah, China wanted it to win, and the Chuds wanted it to win because there's no female characters.
Which is still weird to me, because it's meant to be Journey of the West. There should at least be Sanzang.
Yeah. There should be Bulma, yeah.
It's not at all who that is, but okay.
I know, right? But like Helldivers 2 was on there as well, Space Marine 2. Like a lot of these things have only been out like part of the year, like Space Marine was like summer or whatever, whereas Helldivers was like the beginning of the year, so it has actually had time to be a game of the year.
I think Helldivers 2 suffered a lot from the Sony bullshit, so...
Yeah. VR game of the year, like we don't really play VR at all, so cool. Metro
Awakening 1, which I'm sure that game looks awesome in VR.
Yeah. Labor of Love, things that's been out for a while that keeps getting updated. All of these have a pretty good shot at things.
I'll tell you who doesn't have a good shot at things. Elden Ring, the winner.
Well,
no, it released a DLC, which you had to pay for. No, that's not Labor of Love. You're paying for it. Fuck off.
Fair enough. And Dota, their entire model is do the thing and release something every few weeks.
This category, bear in mind, Steam Awards are entirely a farce, because it's all based on what thing do you like more. Give them a Steam Award. They mean nothing.
Yeah. Whereas Baldur's Gate, their biggest thing is coming up next year anyway. So.
Well, Baldur's Gate has constantly, they won this for basically the regular Steam Awards, the community bullshit. Not Steam Awards, the big game show. Stardew Valley is constantly releasing updates, even though the guy said he was going to stop. No Man's Sky, I can't give enough praise for, because that, honestly, biggest fucking turnaround in video game history, I'd argue.
Yeah, absolutely. From promising the world to delivering nothing to now delivering something.
A lot of what they initially promised and more.
Yeah.
And not charging for it.
Yeah, totally. So if you bought it when it was at its cheapest, when the customer satisfaction was at its lowest, then you win.
For real.
Which I think I did. I think I got it for about 11 quid. Best on Steam Deck. So I don't know how good God of War Ragnarok is on the Steam Deck, but I can tell you that Rogue Trader is very good on the Steam Deck, and Hades 1 is very good on the Steam Deck, so I'm assuming Hades 2 is.
So I'll tell you this for free, Rick. I've played God of War Ragnarok on the PlayStation. That game is gorgeous, it's awesome, it's fun, it was one of the best games of the year. However, I can't imagine it, 1, runs well on the deck, and 2, looks anywhere near as good on such a small screen.
Oh, it doesn't look as good. Like, I've gone from fully cranked Dragon Age to almost minimum settings Dragon Age. The minimum settings look okay on a small screen.
That's not it. Again, it's just literally just the dimensions. Even if it was entirely one-to-one translation, graphically speaking, from being on the big screen on the PS5 to the Steam Deck, it still would look poor on such a small screen, because you've got too much to do.
Yeah, I see you. The extreme of this is when they released like Xenoblade on the 3DS, and you couldn't see anything because the screen was so small, and like part of the joy of that is just looking around and taking things in. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Rogue Trader and Hades 2's art style screams this will be fine on the deck. I almost said Switch.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Better with Friends. Helldivers 2 gets it.
That's totally fine.
Palworld is on there. Satisfactory is quite an old one, but cool. Palworld got another update as well, which is cool.
Yeah, I started a new world so I could play, because I forgot all the rules, and then I paused the game to go for a piss and grab a sandwich, and then I came back and it was nighttime and I was freezing to death, and I was like, oh right, pause doesn't pause this.
Yeah.
So I stopped that. I deleted that save file.
Yep. Visual Award, Silent Hill 2.
Fine. I don't agree with it, but fine.
I've not seen the ones that I've not seen. I've not seen Neva or Nine Souls. I have seen Metaphor, and that's just Fantasy Persona, obviously.
It's one of those where Silent Hill 2 is more about a more graphically impressive modern version of the original Silent Hill 2. I don't think it's outstanding. I certainly don't think it's unique either.
Yeah. Innovative gameplay.
How the fuck did this win?
I don't know. I think it's the case that Balatro has been like in multiple other categories, and people thought that Balatro was going to win something, so they didn't want to vote for Balatro in this. I think that Balatro is far and away more innovative than Liar's Bar.
I don't think either of these two deserve to be in most innovative. I don't think the Steam community knows what innovative means.
I don't think any of these are really innovative. I think Balatro is the only one that has some kind of innovation.
No, it's not. It's just fucking what's the word I'm looking for? It's just a roguelite, but poker, you said.
Yeah, a poker roguelite.
That's not innovative. Poker's been around for fucking centuries, and roguelites existed since, when did that game come out? Like the 70s?
Rogue, yeah.
And
it's older than Windows.
I will give it credit where credit's due, Balatro that is, in that it's more innovative than Liar's Bar, which is the game of bullshit and Liar's Dice, but also there's a bit of Russian roulette. That's just taking two things that already exist and mashing them together. And honestly, it's not even doing that. It's just a punishment for losing.
Yeah, that's the punishment for losing, and the only other thing is you can move your mouse.
I played my first game of Liar's Bar the other night, and I was playing with a bunch of Russians, and it's the most fun I've ever had. Like, because they were just talking mad shit, but in English for some reason. I guess because I came off as English, and I just love the Russian accent. It's so funny to me.
Sure. Best game you suck at, Black Myth Wukong.
Fine, whatever. This won like 3 awards. It's the popular vote. I get it.
Yeah. Best soundtrack.
Red
Dead Redemption 1.
None of these games deserve to be in this because 4 of them. I think Frostpunk 2 is the only game that came out this year.
Yeah.
Like, Red Dead Redemption technically came out this year on Steam, but its soundtrack is not impressive.
No, and Horizon came out like last year on the PlayStation, so it's not a this year game, it's just this year on thingy.
And if someone says their
Steam.
favourite thing about Fate Stay Night is the soundtrack, they're fucking lying.
Yeah, it's clearly the scene where Tosucker is
sucking.
Licking. Yeah. So I even typed her name incorrectly, and like the top 4 images of Tosucker are her sucking toes.
Yeah, no, I don't think visual novels should be allowed to be in any category apart from potentially the next one, in which no visual novels show up.
Yeah, story-rich game. Why wasn't Final Fantasy 16 in the soundtrack bit? Like fuck.
Rick, because as well as the people actually winning getting voted on by the Steam community, so too are the nominees, and the people nominating are stupid.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who deserved to win this Outstanding Rich Game Award, and that is Mouthwashing.
Okay, I've not played it.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll be talking about that in a bit.
Okay, and the Sit Back and Relax Award didn't go to TCG Simulator. It went to Farming Simulator 25.
I've got to be...
Apparently web fishing is also actually pretty relaxing.
I've got to be honest with you. I think this is the only category where I agree with every single nominee. Like, I don't like Farming Simulator, the franchise. I think it's boring, but I get it.
Yeah, it's a de-stress, decompress game.
Like, for real. It's... yeah.
But yeah, that's it for the Steam Awards. On to you for your week. What have you seen? How have you been? Times 3.
Yeah, so we're over an hour in on Rick's week, in which he admitted things were pretty light. So buckle up, buckaroo, because I've got a lot to talk about.
Well now.
A Warrior came out, Rick.
Okay.
This is the Van Ripper game.
Ah, yes. You told me it, and then I ended up not looking it up. So I'll be getting it on the deck pretty soon.
I didn't even tell you it. As soon as it came out, I went, A Warrior came out and it's good. Here's the Steam page link. It's free. Play it. And then you went, okie dokie. Yeah, it's very fun. As long as you are competent, the game will take you less than an hour.
Sure.
I only played on the normal difficulty. I didn't play on the hard mode. Do you know what they did to make the game hard for hard mode?
Double the speed of everything.
Nope. When you die, you die.
Okay. It's permadeath.
Yeah. So when you play on normal mode, you got this little drone that follows you, and if you get hit by something, the drone goes down, and it returns in 10 seconds.
Okay.
So in hardcore mode, you just don't get that. And also the machines apparently, the countdown is a lot quicker, but that's really not noticeable. I managed to get up to stage 8 in hardcore mode, and stage 9 is a motherfucker, so I'm probably not beating the game in hardcore mode.
Sure.
Also, I also know what the final boss is like, and I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to do that without taking any hits. But it's fun. The art style is charming. Of course it is. It's Van Ripper. All of the characters are fun. The protagonist is a woman named Eula, and the game is filled with ghost Yuri.
Ah, sweet.
It is. You can buy the art book for about £8, which also comes with a recipe for some kind of Polish cake. And that's basically like Van Ripper being like, here, my game's free, but if you want to send me a tip, here you go, and you get something for it.
Recipe for cake.
Yeah, you get the recipe for cake. It's great.
That's rather cute.
Well, he's done it with every single game. With Helltaker, it was pancakes. With Exam Taker, it was apple pie.
Sure, okay.
With the art book in particular, you don't have to actually pay for it, because if you beat the game in hardcore mode, you get it for free.
Okay,
so
sweet.
if you're good at the game, you can just look at that.
Yeah, you save yourself £34 or whatever. Or like £7 or whatever.
I was going to say, like, he doesn't take the piss. I think £8 is more than reasonable, especially seeing as it's optional.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, you get a lot of behind-the-scenes info. He also gives you, like, the first couple of pages for free once you beat the game on any difficulty, and it gives you some behind-the-scenes information information, including how it was originally going to be a noir setting, but he quickly shit-canned that because it didn't quite work.
Yeah.
And originally it was going to be like everyone was dressed up like worker bees, so it was like everyone's a drone and like very common. And yeah, it got scrapped because visually it didn't look good.
Sure.
As in terms of gameplay, obviously it looked good because it's still Van Ripper's doing Van Ripper things.
True.
But yes, I alluded to it already, but another game I played was Mouthwashing.
Yeah, so I don't know anything about this.
Okay, so this has been on my to-play list for a little bit. It was on my wish list for a while. It was 10% off in the winter sale, and I was like, fuck it. Enough people like this game that it managed to get nominated for an award in a very competitive category. I'm going to play it. I played it. It's a great game. Visually, they've chose a very specific style for the art direction. Everything looks very PS1 level graphics. Well, a bit better than PS1.
Sure.
Basically, I can't talk about this game without spoiling everything. And Rick, I actually recommend you play this game.
Okay.
It's about a tenner when it's not on sale, so it's not expensive. I will say you benefit a lot by reading the description of the game and taking it at face value.
Right, okay.
Because there are twists and turns in this story. And as soon as I booted up the game, my brain was like, okay, I've played video games and I've experienced horror stories before. I know for a fact that what the game has described the story as being is not going to be how the story actually goes. It can't be. It's too simple. But
yeah,
in order to have a more enjoyable experience, I'm going to take it at face value.
Yeah, I'm going to ignore this. I'm going to discard all of my preconceptions that I know about how tropes go.
It's pretty much how I watch wrestling and why wrestling is fun. But yeah, it's a great game. It made me uncomfortable. But that's because I have a very specific ick, and it does the ick that I don't like.
Sure, okay.
And there are probably several other icks that get people more than they get me, that also definitely show up. I want to have a conversation about this game. It's basically what I'm saying. The game itself takes about 2 hours.
Okay.
So yeah, I will leave it at that. I highly recommend it. It's sold 300,000 units. 300k, which is pretty good for an indie game.
Sure.
I watched a film that was not called Sonic 3, Rick.
Oh?
I watched Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim.
Would you recommend seeing it now or waiting until it's on one of the streaming services?
It's going to be on Netflix. I'm 95% sure Netflix commissioned it, for lack of a better word. I don't think it was a good movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
I enjoyed it. I don't think it was good. It's a really weird fucking oxymoron I'm spouting, but that's how I'm going to word it. I think visually it's very enjoyable till you look at the characters.
Yeah, I get that though. Like, something being not objectively good, but still personally enjoyable.
Here's the thing, Rick. Have you seen Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. You've seen this movie. That's all I've got to say, really. Yeah, there's a lot of things I could say about this. I will say in the arts department, the initial transition from the title screen to the actual movie, it looked like a live action shot.
Sweet.
So again, the backgrounds were great, but the characters look like I guess Castlevania is the closest thing I can point to, and I don't think those characters actually look good.
Yeah, fair enough.
The Netflix Castlevania I'm talking about, obviously.
Sure.
But yeah, there's a lot of issues with this movie, including like, why aren't you just shooting this person? Why aren't you killing this person that you can quite easily kill because they're within archery range? You've demonstrated that already. Like, they got a hostage. He just killed the hostage. Shoot him now.
Yeah, do it.
Like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I'm sure the memers will love this, but once again, the Eagles solve all problems.
They would have done, yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed a lot of the combat scenes, but not all of them. And honestly, that's the only part of the movie that was I'd give a plus. It's just a bit shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, I started watching The King's Roar, Rick.
Oh?
It's on Netflix. It's been on Netflix for a while. It's been on my to-watch list a while. It's 45 minutes an episode, and there's 80 episodes. So that's why I've been putting it off.
Okay.
Rick, what time of history do I absolutely adore?
Well, mostly the Three Kingdoms.
Yeah, so before the Three Kingdoms, there was a bit of a war going on between the Qin dynasty, the Han dynasty, and the Chu kingdom. And so this basically follows the period of history that established the Han Empire, which is the empire that falls at the beginning of the Three Kingdoms. I don't know a lot about this time period. I only know that Shan Yu is involved, and he is a fucking bad. He was basically Lu Bu before Lu Bu.
Sure. So it's the Phantom Menace of the Three Kingdoms.
Yeah, except fact it's historical.
Sure.
Like, they didn't make this shit up. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's plenty of things that have been exaggerated to make things seem super cooler.
Yeah, like the romance of the Three Kingdoms, in that it's historical fan fiction based loosely around events.
Well, again, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms was written like 700 years after.
Yeah, exactly. Like historical fan fiction.
Yeah, but the Three Kingdoms, like, you look at the historical records of the Three Kingdoms periods, and they didn't change facts.
Yeah, they just embellished it.
Yeah, and obviously every story has to have a protagonist and an antagonist, so Liu Bei is the protagonist and Cao Cao is the antagonist. Obviously, historically, Liu Bei was just as much of a shit as Cao Cao.
Yeah.
And they don't even fucking give Sun Quan a mention. But yeah, I know very little about this time period. Again, as I said, Shang Yu is a badass. Liu Bang is the person who eventually wins. So, spoiler, if you've not watched the show, he wins. I also know the story of Liu Bang. The whole reason why he kickstarted his path to emperorhood, basically, was because he was transporting a bunch of prisoners somewhere, and some of the prisoners escaped. And under Qin law, if some of the prisoners escape, everybody else gets murdered, gets executed, because they fucked up. And Liu Bang's logic essentially was, well, if they're going to execute me anyway, I might as well run away with the prisoners.
Huh, okay.
So, yeah, that's basically what kickstarts that. Meanwhile, Shang Yu is like the descendant of the last Chu emperor, or Chu king, I suppose, because it was kingdoms back then, and he's like, don't like Ying Sheng, I should kill him.
Right.
I appreciate I'm throwing a lot of nouns at you.
Yeah, they're all nouns. You might as well have just said words, noun. Noun, words.
But yeah, it's taken about 8 episodes for the story I just mentioned with Liu Bang to actually occur, so now things are actually happening and things are getting hype. It's very cool. I'm looking forward to finishing this show in about a year and a half.
Sure.
Christmas Day happened, Rick.
It did.
Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul aired. Did you get a chance to watch this?
No, I didn't.
Alright, we'll save that for another day.
Yeah, cool beans. Because I wasn't in Britain on Christmas Day, I didn't have a BBC. We didn't get back until the day after.
Yeah, but you could have just gone on BBC iPlayer when you got home.
Oh, is it on iPlayer now? Okay, cool. No.
Well, I assume so.
Well.
I know it's coming to Netflix on the 6th.
Yeah.
It's
one of those. Like, I assumed that if you didn't catch it, you might as well just go on Netflix. iPlayer is one of these newfangled things that I just don't use because it's stuff on telly, and I never watch things on telly anyway.
I get what you're saying. However, you pay the TV license, you might as well fucking have it.
Yeah, but it's telly stuff. It's properly shit. This is the one time that, okay, this is the exception that proves the rule, but yeah.
Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with you. Like, I can't tell you anything I've ever watched on the BBC iPlayer, but as an Englishman, it's your God-given right to use it.
Yeah. Like, when am I ever going to go and watch an episode of Only Connect from 2 weeks ago?
Well, that's one of the problems, isn't it? Because 95% of the BBC is reality shows, and and I mean reality shows like fucking Free in a Bed from 4 years ago.
Yeah, Homes Under the Hammer, and Will You Move to Australia if we give you 500 grand kind of things. Yeah.
Oh, gee, I fucking hate the BBC. Hate it. Anyway, no time to be anti-fucking patriotic. Rick, are you ready for some news?
Let's go.
Oh, I got 2 pages of news, Rick.
Jesus Christ.
First things first, the Superman teaser dropped. It's a great teaser. We kind of spoke about this in the last week's retro.
Yeah, you did a bit. Yeah. So, it looks cool. I don't know why they're using so much non-Superman things, but it's, I don't know. I don't think they needed it, but apparently James Gunn thinks they do.
Okay, here's the thing, is on the one hand, this is part of the new DC cinematic universe, because I guess everything has to be called that now. So, if you got access to the entire fucking play chest, fucking use it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Number 2, comic book fans want to see comic book dumb shit.
Sure. Well, they get crypto. That's dumb.
Yeah, you're right. Crypto is dumb. Do you know what's dumber is calling it fucking Luthor Corp?
Yeah.
Anyway, don't get me wrong, it makes more sense from a believability point of view. Who the fuck uses their first name to name their corporation other than Lex Luthor?
Yeah. It's the only Lex that matters. Well, that's the thing. He could actually have 2 warring companies. So he could have Luthor Corp and Lex Corp, and Luthor Corp gets renamed to like Luthor Heavy Industries or something.
Fuck it. I don't know. I don't really care either. This movie looks like dumb fun, and I'm looking forward to it. And honestly, I just want DC to make good movies. They're already nailing it on the animation department.
Yeah, and they're going to have to make Lex Luthor into a real bad baddie to stop him just being a better boss than Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah.
Like, on a personal level, Lex Luthor's always been a piece of shit, but then you look at his packages for all of his workers, and he treats workers better than Bezos does.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of DC, Batman 2 is officially delayed until late 2027.
Is this the Robert Pattinson one?
Yes.
Good.
I don't...
I would rather something be delayed and be good than be rushed and be shit.
Yeah, I think this might be one of the consequences of the writer's strike not too long ago, because obviously the Penguin came out during that, and I guess it just fucked with the timeline. Also, there's a non-0% chance that they want the Batman 2 to have Batman doing things that interacts with things that they need to release beforehand.
Yeah, so they might set some stuff up, even in Superman, that Batman now has to deal with.
Like, potentially, like, I think people seem to forget a lot that the geography in DC Universe is Gotham is across the river from Metropolis.
Yeah.
Which is fucking wild.
It's further to Bloodhaven than it is to Metropolis from Gotham.
Fuck. Like, how could you not just hate your life if you lived in Gotham? You look over the river and you go, look at them motherfuckers over there.
Yeah.
How many crime alleys do they have? 0? We have 100.
Yeah, but by the same token, if you're going to get targeted by a crime in Metropolis, it's because something way worse is happening that Superman's having to deal with right now.
Yeah, this is true. And like, also before Superman was a thing, like, Metropolis was already doing pretty well for themselves.
Yeah. Gotham is the old money place. Metropolis is the new money place.
I guess that really is what it boils down to.
Yeah, you can tell by the difference between the Gotham stuff having, stone and Metropolis being brick at best.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, but it's also got Goth in the name. It's the law.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that DC, in general, just has made up bullshit cities, as opposed to we're in the Marvel universe and it's like, oh, we're going to Kentucky.
Yeah, or for the Marvel universe, it's normally which street in New York are you actually focusing on today?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I have a superhero that can cover a tri-state area. Well, we have a superhero that can cover a tri-street area.
But yes, in historical news, Jimmy Carter passed away at 100.
He did.
Arguably the last good person to be a president.
Possibly so, yeah.
Like, very famously, like, gave up his peanut farm while he was in office. Which,
Yeah.
There are two things that I know about Jimmy Carter. One, after his presidency, he did a lot of fucking work for the homeless. And during his presidency, he obviously did a lot of good for the United States, shall we say. As a bit of a blanket term, I'm sure there's some things he did that people disagree with and were objectively bad, but they are far outweighed by the good. And the other thing is, boy, did he love his peanut farm.
He did. He also put solar panels on the White House, and then as soon as Reagan came in, he ripped them off.
Yeah, well, I don't think Reagan gets nearly enough shit.
Oh, Reagan never gets enough shit. Like, I like the meme of someone going, "Oh, Jimmy Carter will have gone to heaven," and then it cuts to him, his face pasted over Doom Guy, saying, "Where the fuck is Reagan?"
Yeah, no, Reagan was a piece of shit that, as to this day, people are still feeling the effects of his regime.
Yeah, like, Reaganomics are the cornerstone of the modern conservative financial ethos, like the trickle-down economics and all that.
I was going to say, I'm 95% sure he introduced trickle-down economics, which, if you don't know how it works, people like to demonstrate that, oh, you fill up a cup, and when that cup overflows, it fills up the cups that below it. But what actually happens is, you fill up the cup, and when that cup fills up, you replace it with a bigger cup.
Yep. Nothing ever trickles down, because the people hoarding wealth will continue to hoard, because they are not a ruling class, they are a hoarding class.
You can just call them oligarchs at this point.
Yeah,
Speaking of, everybody's favourite oligarch, Elon Musk, has been fucking busy over these 3 weeks.
He has. Apparently, the Republicans are going to war with Musk.
Well, here's the thing, is like, ever since Trump won this last election, Elon Musk has been acting as if he's won the election and he's the president, and that was ruffling feathers as it was, but now there's just outright Republicans arguing with Elon Musk on Twitter and getting their accounts banned.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so funny, but also really fucked up.
Yeah, so we're still in the final days of Biden before we get the inauguration of President Musk and First Lady Trump. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and like watching them tear each other apart, because they need to.
Well, here's the thing: is Trump specifically is not tearing Musk apart, and that's the problem.
Yeah, because he needs the money man. Because as much as he relies on the image of a billionaire. He's like a Temu billionaire.
Well, bear in mind,
Like-
his rape charge just got upheld. He still has to pay, I think it's $5 million to that lady who he raped. I want to point out to everyone going accused rapist, no, he's in the books now.
Yep. Although as soon as he's president, he can always pardon himself of that.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the criminal charge goes away. Like, that's still on the records as you were charged and convicted of this. Just because you got a pardon doesn't mean the charge goes away.
Yeah.
Just the consequences.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And, Biden's got a few days left to pardon Luigi Mangione.
Well, we can't pardon him because he's not been convicted yet.
Yeah, I guess
you
so.
can't pardon someone until they've been convicted is part of the problem. And I've got to be honest with you, like, I'm not even saying this as like a support sort of thing. I generally don't think they've got the right person anyway.
Yeah, because of the unibrow.
But not even the unibrow, just like all this evidence appeared out of thin air, allegedly in a back. It's just so suspicious.
Yeah, like, why would you have your manifesto in your pocket when you're in a place where you could get caught?
Even the Unabomber didn't do that, and he was nuts.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just, that's all fucked. That feels like a plant.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this Musk thing. The big issue is this immigration bullshit, where there's this specific form you can get that lets, I'm quoting, highly skilled workers get into the country. Musk wants this to obviously stay a thing because he wants to pay people tuppence for labour while also not having that person able to quit because then they'll be kicked out of the country.
Yep.
And more annoying than this is the fact that Trump has said, I've never changed my mind on immigration. I always thought this particular policy regarding immigration should stay. If anything, we should get more. And even the red hats are going, fucking what?
Yep. Build that wall apart from this hole that lets people that you want in to pay nothing.
Yeah, it's the mask has slipped very quickly.
Yeah, they're saying the quiet part loud.
I don't think this is gonna remove any support from the Republican Party, but boy is it slightly cathartic to see straight up Republicans in the House tweeting saying, hey, fuck you, Elon Musk, and Elon Musk being a piss baby and deleting accounts.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of deleting accounts, have you seen what Disney are doing?
You're gonna... No.
So, Disney are doing that meme where the person is, like, biting the metal and showering themselves on champagne, and then it zooms out and they're in number 2 place. They're going, oh, yeah, we made so much money on Mufasa. We're the number one. We're number one. We're number one. And then anyone else who posts a number like 293 million is better than 213 million, and posting a picture of Sonic 3 or something. All of those posts are getting deleted.
It's just a weird thing to lie about.
Yeah, it is demonstrably viewable, and I think even Moana has done better than it, like Moana 2, which has gotten no fanfare and is probably shit because I've not heard anything about it.
Oh yeah, but everyone knew it was a cash grab, but it doesn't matter if it's a cash grab, it'll shut the kids up for a weekend.
Yeah, and it has grabbed cash. It's grabbed more than frickin' Mufasa, which was definitely also a cash grab.
Here's the thing about Mufasa is it's not a film I'm interested in seeing. I don't know if what I'm about to say is correct, but they have made a change to the Lion King canon that actually makes Lion King shit.
Yeah, they made it so that Mufasa was adopted and Scar is the actual rightful king.
Oh, didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. What I thought, I was told that Scar and Mufasa aren't actually brothers, and I'm like, oh, that just completely fucks it. But that fucks it even more, what you said.
Yeah. So basically, the royal family liked Mufasa better, so they made him the heir to the kingdom.
Well, that was always a thing anyway. Liking Mufasa more, that's why he was the heir. Like, Mufasa's name translates to, like, king or some bollocks, and Scar's real name was...
translates Taka, which, his real name is Taka, which is the name he goes by in the Mufasa movie, which translates to Garvin.
Yeah, like, I wonder who the favourite son is. But yeah, it's very weird. It's a very weird choice, because, them being brothers, actual brothers, and brought up together, it puts a lot more emphasis on Scar killing Mufasa in that moment, because, they might not have got on, but, that's a pretty big leap, and I know it's just Hamlet, but whatever. Whereas if they were never related at all, apart from by choice, it's like, it just kind of defeats that fucking part of the film.
Yeah.
Of course Scar's going to make this decision.
I think they're doing this to make it so that they can make Kovu into actually Scar's son, because, he looks exactly like him anyway.
That was a thing.
Yeah, so Kovu has a line saying, Scar wasn't even my real dad, I just look like him. And that makes it okay for him to bang Kiara, because otherwise they're brothers and sisters. Like all lions are, by the way.
I was gonna say, Simba and Nala are brother and sister, and they bang.
Yeah, totally. Like all lions do this. They just wanted it to seem like they weren't.
Man, what the fucking... Man, why are we even talking about Mufasa?
Yeah, sorry. It was a tangent from you talking about Musk deleting accounts. I'm like, nah, Disney are also deleting replies to Mufasa being outdone by Sonic 3.
Oh, right, yeah, so Musk continues to be a whiny piss baby, and Disney will lie until they die.
Yep.
Speaking of animation, we got a sneak peek at Abel's design in Has Been Hotel.
Ooh.
So for those of you who don't know who Abel is, he's Adam's son. Very specifically in Bible lore, if you're not familiar, spoilers, he's got a brother called Cain and he fucking murdered him.
Yeah, Abel is the murderee. And then there's a third brother called Seth who almost never shows up in Cain and Abel allegories.
Yeah, because he's not important.
Yep.
It's interesting. Abel's design, he looks more like a Lucifer child than an Adam child.
Sure.
But we've also not seen Eve, so like the logical assumption is it's an Adam and Eve child. So you know.
Yeah.
Probably takes more after Eve. He looks like a goofy goober, is my point.
Oh, okay. I've not seen this anyway, so I'll take a peek in a bit.
Yeah. They literally just showed him in some promotional art. It's very cool. Although that being said, the best thing about it is, of course, the fan artists have been working in overdrive in how Adam's relationship would be with Abel, because again, Abel looks like a goofy goober, whereas Adam is Adam.
Yeah.
I think my favourite one was just what's the name of the big angel lady?
I can't remember.
Fuck, Sarah.
It's been a while. It's been a year.
Sarah.
It's been a year. Yes, Sarah sounds about right. Yeah.
She's like
the seraphim.
Yeah, she's like the head mistress of a school, and it's Adam bursting into the room, and you've got an indescript woman with him, which I'm going to assume is Eve, but who knows? Oh no, it wasn't. It was Luke. Totally. Luke was just was just standing there looking menacing, and Adam's just like, Abel, I heard you were in a fight. No, wait, no, it was Sarah going, I'm afraid your child has been caught fighting. You got goofy goober Abel just looking depressed, and Adam just goes up to him and goes, did you win? Yeah, it's adorable. The fan art's great. No idea what his personality is going to be like. It could be a complete 180 from his design, but we just don't know. It's interesting to know that we've got more new characters to meet in the new series when it eventually comes.
Yeah, good shit.
Rick, do you remember a meme earlier in the year? A certain Hawk Trois.
Oh, yeah, the coin.
Yeah, the fuck is this?
Yeah, so she released her cryptocurrency, and in the first 20 minutes she dropped by like 94%, and when asked about this, she went, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, no, I'm almost certainly sure that she was not the mastermind behind this move. She's just the face and the patsy.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, I have zero sympathy for anyone buying meme coins.
Yeah, like the last meme coin that I knew about was Dogecoin, and that was before Musk decided that it was his pet meme coin.
Oh, speaking of Musk, he fucking changed his profile on Twitter.
Oh, it's like Kekosaurus Kex or something.
It was Kexius Maximus, and it was a picture of, and he changed his profile picture to a picture of Pepe, the meme, in Space Marine armor.
I thought he wasn't even in Space Marine armor. I thought he was in like a Roman Centurion thing.
It looked like Space Marine armor, but I'm going off memory.
Sure.
Anyway, it's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I don't like that Pepe is being appropriated by the ultra far right. But oh well.
Well, it's also like someone said it best, and it was just like they just said, "Dude, even 4chaners aren't this fucking cringe."
Yeah, yeah. Like we're pretty sure that he's been trolling around on 4chan for quite some time. However, he's also exactly the kind of person that actual 4chaners would say, "You're trying too hard. Get fucked. Go and die."
I could use the exact terminology, but we can't because we'll get banned off YouTube. But yeah, something called a tryhard, and they're not cool. To put it mildly. Anyway, Rick, moving on. Hey, Rick, do you remember that Jackie Chan Karate Kid movie?
Oh, yeah, okay, they're doing a sequel, aren't they?
Yeah, did you know that wasn't a reboot?
No.
It's set in the same universe, and
Right.
They've got Daniel LaRusso showing up in this new movie. I don't know if it's connected to Cobra Kai, but apparently it's gotta be.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't watch this reboot, but I was under the impression that Jackie Chan literally played Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, I've also never watched any of the Cobra Kai / Jackie Chan, not Jackie Chan, / Karate Kid movies, so...
Obviously I watched the old ones. I didn't watch the Karate Girl because it looked shit. I only watched the first season of Cobra Kai when it came to Netflix. I didn't watch it when YouTube was trying to do Netflix.
Yeah.
Do you remember that period of time? That was weird.
Yeah, was it like YouTube Plus or something?
I think it was YouTube Red before it got rebranded.
Yeah, YouTube Red. And yeah, now YouTube is just if you pay for YouTube, it's to get rid of ads, not to get the extra stuff that people put out on the platform.
Yeah, you can get get rid of ads, and also apparently it lets you download YouTube videos, but there's ways around that.
Yeah.
There's ways around both those things, but you know.
Yeah, you use Firefox and you use a downloader.
But yeah, that was just weird to learn.
Yeah, it's so weird.
In other movie news, Christopher Nolan's next movie is going to be an adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey.
Okay.
A lot of names have been floated around as cast members, and they're just generic big names in Hollywood, and it's just like, yeah, that's something Christopher Nolan would do.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think I don't think a film. It's going to be like 5 hours long.
Yeah, unless it gets either really extremely cut down or cut down and split into many films.
And it's interesting to do the Odyssey and not do the Iliad first.
Yeah,
just saying. The Iliad, I think, is the Trojan War.
Yeah, because there was the Troy film, and
that wasn't Christopher Nolan, was it?
No, I don't think it was. No, but they did a Troy film, so there is a movie version of things that happened that people can go watch. So they can kind of see that as like a prequel to the Iliad. To the Odyssey, because you meet Aeneas at the end, and he's like, "Oh, I'm Aeneas. Yeah, go and escape and don't get killed."
Fuck it, I don't know. The Odyssey is an interesting thing because even I don't know everything that happens in it because I've only read I've read the bits that I got told to read because it's cool, like him killing the Cyclops.
Yeah,
and pissing
one hurt me,
and pissing off Poseidon in the process.
Yeah, no man blinded me.
Oh, yeah. There's a great bit in Hades 2 where you talk to Odysseus, and I just realised that's a spoiler, so I'm going to shut the fuck up about what else I was going to say. Hey, Rick, did you know Pornhub's been blocked in 17 different states?
Yeah, including like Florida and Utah, I believe. Yeah, so NordVPN.
For real? Guess what? Fucking Google searches for VPNs spiked as soon as this happened.
Yep. Yep, you can't stop us doing it. You can just stop us doing it safely.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't blame Pornhub for this at all. So in these states in question, in order to access a pornographic website, you need to provide state-issued ID to prove you're over 18. And this is all done in a Puritan nonsense thing to try and stop kids from accessing pornography, which on paper is a noble goal, but their actual goal is to just stop pornography full stop.
Yeah, and also harvest and blackmail the details of people that still do.
Oh yeah, you know your pastor, he looks up tranny porn.
Yep.
That's some great fucking. I'm sorry, I do realise that word's not PC, but that's what the terminology was back in the day. And people would get roasted for it. Like I remember there was a sketch on Come Fly With Me, that David Walliams and Matt Lucas show, where I think it was David Schwimmer. He was coming in from another country, and it's just like, we've had to stop you, sir. And it's like, why? We found 10 DVDs of transsexual pornography. And he's just like, it's not mine. But apparently just bringing in pornography of that nature is against importation rules, which, what?
Yeah, oh well.
Like, it's not the only thing that's ever made that joke. I remember Ali G, the movie, had the exact same thing when they broke into the, basically where they put all the stuff that you cut to keep, which you can't import into the country. So Ali G and his two mates were smoking massive spliffs while watching hardcore German porn. And it's like, why can't you bring in hardcore German porn into the country? There's nothing illegal about that, is there?
Yeah, apparently. I think it was like an obscenity law or something because someone had shat on someone's chest or something.
Oh, fucking... okay, I don't like scat, but I don't care if people do it.
Yeah. It's for someone else to like or dislike. It's not for me to say that it's my yuck. It might be someone else's yum. I'm not here to yuck your yum unless your yuck is very yucky.
I don't like poo. I don't like poo in a sexual sense. The only thing I like about poo is when you take a poo when your stomach's really hurts, and then you feel immediately nice. You're like, oh, life is good and worth living. But boy, do I not want to be jerking my gherkin while someone takes a shit on me. I'm just remembering that Reddit post, and it's so funny. Do you know the one I'm thinking of?
Oh, the one where someone put a poo in a bag.
No, it's better than that. It was like, what fetish did you think you had before you went through with it and realised you didn't? And it was someone with a scat fetish, or he thought he had a scat fetish, and he paid a well-known industry star to do a shit on him. And as her cheeks parted and the first nugget of poo slipped from her cheeks, he realised he did not have a scat fetish, and he's going and he's like squirming and going as he's being pooed on, and she's like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, you're doing a good job. I'm not doing the story justice because they wrote up a fucking masterpiece of comedy.
Yep, a good old green text novel.
Hey Rick, we're probably going to be doing it next week for the podcast, or at least something related to it, but Squid Game Series 2 dropped.
Yeah, it did.
We're probably going to be doing the first episode of Season 1 next week for the podcast, but never mind that. Mr. Beast.
Okay, I thought you started with Mr. B. I thought you were talking about Mr. Bean for some reason. But yeah, Mr. Beast. What about Mr. Beast?
He's got his Amazon show, which is basically him doing... it's a game show, but he likes to fucking say it's like Squid Games in real life, which you can't do those in real life. It's kind of the point.
Yeah, and aren't all the contestants just his employees anyway?
I don't know about that. Not for the Amazon show, I don't think, but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Sure.
My point being is he's being really pathetic right now because he's just posting on every single official Squid Games tweet saying Season 2 out now on Netflix, and he's like, don't forget, the Beast Games is happening on Amazon Prime, and it's just so pathetic and sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no interest in Mr. Beast because he's one of those YouTubers.
Yeah.
Rick, this is not a wrestling podcast.
What's happened?
Rey Mysterio Sr., real name Miguel Angel Lopez Diaz, has passed away at the age of 66.
Oh.
Yeah. I had a really surreal moment when the day this happened because I came downstairs and my mum said to me, hey, you know Rey Mysterio? And I went, yeah, he died. I went, it's not the Rey Mysterio you think it is. So the famous Rey Mysterio, at least to modern day audiences, is Rey Mysterio Jr., who is very much alive and well. Rey Mysterio Sr. was his uncle.
Sure, okay.
And he's who Rey Mysterio Jr. inherited his mask from. And it's this really weird scenario where we spoke about this during our Inspector Gadget fucking reaction.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sad. Definitely a veteran legend of the business, and 66 is no age, but at the same time, he was a wrestler in the 80s.
Yeah. No protection against massive injuries.
There's that, and there's also, like, back then you got paid when you worked. There's no guaranteed money, which means a lot of wrestlers, when they were hurt, were like, okay, I'm going to do a bunch of painkillers now.
Yep. Do a bunch of painkillers, go do more injuries, and it's just a slippery slope.
So yeah, it's really sad. Whenever a wrestler passes away young and they're from a certain generation, you're like, okay, it was either cocaine, because they did a fuck ton of blow, or it's painkillers. I think the saddest one is probably Test. I think he was in his early 30s, and it was just like, no, he needed painkillers just to walk.
Yeah.
It's not fun, and like a lot of that blood is directly on Vince McMahon's hands. But that's neither here nor there. One of the few things about Rey Mysterio Sr. is, are you familiar with Freddy vs. Jason?
I'm aware that it is a movie.
Cool. So in the credits for that, you've got Rey Mysterio as a stunt guy, and for the longest time, everyone was like, oh shit, Rey Mysterio did like the stunts for Freddy Krueger. Recently on a podcast, he was asked a question, hey, were you in Freddy vs. Jason? And he went, no, I don't do that. And then he went, you know what? My uncle used to do stunt work. Let's just say it was him.
Right.
Because it's just credited as Rey Mysterio, which in itself is a stage name.
Yeah, true, fair enough.
So odd. But yeah, it's always sad when a veteran of the business passes away, and yeah. 66 is no age, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally.
Last but not least, Rick, nearly 2 hours of waffle.
Yes.
When this episode comes out, it will be the 6th of January. AKA, Netflix is coming to Raw. Wrong way round. Raw is coming to Netflix.
Nah, we're sticking with the first one. Netflix is coming to Raw.
WWE War will be debuting its first episode on Netflix tonight. And more importantly, I'm almost certain that Pentagon Jr. is coming to Raw tonight.
Okay.
He is a wrestler. He is a luchador. He is awesome. He had anime powers in Lucha Underground. It was the best. He's had several transformations. That's how anime this guy is. He gets it.
Yeah, he has the power of lucha and anime on his side.
Like, for real. Like, I can't even... I'm going to send you a video later. You're going to be like, what the fuck is this? And it's just going to be Penta being a fucking badass. He is the brother of Phoenix, who is the guy I mentioned not too long ago, who is currently locked into a contract with AEW because they're being shits. I have no doubt that as soon as Phoenix's issues with AEW are up and he can jump ship, he'll probably be joining Penta in WWE. But I hope Penta shows up tonight, but he might not. We know he's definitely with the company because they've just outright said it. So,
sure.
Very cool. Alrighty, Rick, that does it for the news. What are we doing today?
We're doing Bluey, Season 1, Episode 1, The Magic Xylophone on Disney+. Well, Disney Plus for us. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Yeah, so this might be like the worst ever example of like review to news ratio ever.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours of
9
news
minutes.
for a 9-minute review.
Like, at least... Yeah, the credits start at 7 minutes, so...
Jeez.
So yeah, they're playing statues in that, so anybody who doesn't stop when the music stops is out.
Oh, okay. Wait. Are you telling me that that's actually the guy's just straight up voice?
Yeah, it is.
That's adorable.
It is.
So apparently he has 2 daughters of his own, and a lot of the influence came from that.
Yeah, he would have done, yeah. Yeah, scream giggling. You do love the scream giggle. It's...
I just want Koala Man to show up.
To save Dapto, yeah. Bum bongos.
I do that with my dogs. I don't say bum bongos, but I do slap them on the butt.
Mum's getting jiggy with it.
Well, that's a cute fucking way to introduce an episode.
Yeah, you get the kids to read it out, yeah.
So one of the reasons why I know Bluey is somewhat popular is that, and I think I mentioned this earlier, and that is adults watching it with their kids don't want to blow their brains out.
Yeah. It's like an actually wholesome way of giving a best of being a parent.
Oh god, I'd hate having to play ball with this.
Yeah. Especially when you get, like, hit in the bollocks.
Oh no! That's alright, it's a dog, he probably doesn't have them anymore.
Well, he's got 2 kids.
Yeah, you can have kids and then have your bollocks chopped off.
Yeah, true. Oh, it's been up my bum and everything!
They are dogs.
Yeah. It's normally the tongue.
It's a good thing they're innocent little children, otherwise this would immediately be dicks.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a mustache like that.
Got the classic Dorian mustache before they made it 3D and shit.
Yeah, my mustache doesn't do that. It just fucking... I could do a Lemmy.
Yeah, I can just, like, get rid of the beard and just have it going down like a bottomless goatee.
Yeah.
He's not even allowed to blink.
Do the characters even blink in this?
I think they do, yeah. Yeah, they just did, yeah.
Does Dad work, or is he a stay-at-home dad?
He definitely works, because the plot of the was about to be the final episode is they have to move out because he's got a better job somewhere else.
I was aware they had to move out, but I didn't realise it's because he got a better job. I thought they just got kicked out and evicted because life's shit.
Nah, he got a better job, and he was like, yeah, it's 'cause so I can give you a better life. And they go, I don't want a better life. I want to stay home.
I get that.
So, yeah, spoiler for the end of an episode that you're never going to watch. He rips the for sale sign out.
Ah. Need to take a shit.
Let him piss. I like how they got Pachelbel's cannon going on in the background.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's not Pachelbel's cannon.
No, they put it in the thing. It was the El Fuego by Bach.
Yeah.
Wait, have I got that right? What the fucking... No, I can't Google this. It's only 9 minutes episode, so I'll fucking waste all my time.
They're gonna break it, so Dad stays frozen.
Did he just fucking elbow drop a bitch?
Yeah, he did.
That's fucking sinister.
She'll keep. Yeah, because Bingo can't do it properly yet, because she's too little.
Ah.
I've done a mischief!
Not the hose.
Oh.
She learnt.
Oh, you always never, yeah.
Wait, so you're frozen, but you can still blink.
Apparently so. So she's now going to be stealth unfrozen.
Ah. That's always the best trick.
Yep.
Oh, Dick, no, that's not nice.
Yeah, she'd already been unfrozen. Oh boy.
Have I ever told you the time when I shot my mum in the face with a hose?
I think you did.
Fair enough then.
But yeah, you can tell the viewers again.
Let's wait till the credits, because I assume they're coming up in a moment.
Yeah, it's
Oh, they learnt to share.
Yeah, coming up in about 6 seconds.
Little shite. Yeah, that's dedication to the bit. Oh, it's one of the sonatas. It's not Bach.
One of Mozart's sonatas. Yeah.
There you go, Ludo Studios. But yeah, and you get the BBC credit as well. When I was younger, quite really young, I was in the back garden with the hose, obviously, and
yeah.
Okay, in my old house, we had like stable doors as the back door.
Right, okay.
So you could have the bottom of the door shut, but the top half open, which is very useful when you have dogs.
Yeah. Or if you want to hand a sandwich out to someone who's playing out in the back.
Yeah, but we also had, back then we had a proper patio with sliding doors, so that wasn't an issue either.
Sure.
I miss that house. Anyway, so I was fucking around with a hose, and then my mum was like leaning out of the back door, like leaning on the bottom half of it, and being like, "Oh, what you doing?" Blah blah. And then I pointed the hose at her menacingly, and she egged me on and said, "Go on, I dare you." And I was like, "Okay." And then I pressed I pressed the trigger to make it fire. Now I didn't know the hose was actually working and on. So
right.
I shot her in the face with the hose pipe, and I was like, "Oh no!" And the rest of the story cannot be told. But yeah, it was a thing.
Did you get your bum beat?
I was again. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
My story of I didn't know it was on was not believed.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the end of Bluey, Rick. I assume you've seen that episode before, but nonetheless, what do you think?
It was a cute one. It's a good way to introduce the dynamic that the kids are still learning to share. Dad is very much on board with games, and Mum is supportive of all of them doing stupid things while also going out to get shit done right now.
Yeah, like she was on her way to work, which I think it's important to show kids that work is a thing that your parents have to do. Doesn't mean they love you any less. It's just a part of life.
Yeah, and as soon as you start school, then both of your parents are now going to be working as well. So,
oh, is that why Dad starts working later on? Because we get some school episodes.
Yeah, we get school episodes. I think when both of them are at school, then they can both like properly work and lean on the other like neighbor dogs with neighbor kids and things like that.
Yeah, fair. That must be nice.
So like there's a Bluey expanded universe of additional like dogs.
I was vaguely aware of this because again on the research dives there was like, here's this character, they're a Dalmatian. Here's this character, they're a Scottish Terrier, but they don't speak with a Scottish accent because fuck you.
Yeah, because they're Australian. But yeah, they're all dogs. Like I don't think there's anything that's not a dog.
Yeah, so it differs a bit from Peppa Pig in that regard then, because Peppa Pig is like all sorts of animals. But then again, how many different types of pigs are there?
Well, there's at least a saddleback and at least a woolly. So at least 2.
There are actually loads of breeds of pigs. They're just not very visually distinct.
Yeah, like they're all generally shaped like pigs. Pot belly.
Like the one you find in petting zoos are usually Kune.
Sure.
Kune. I don't know if that's how you pronounce the word, but that's the safe way of pronouncing it.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you think?
It was fine. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch this show as an adult without children, but I get it.
Yeah, ditto. It's the kind of thing that when I go to someone's house and they have small children, this will be the one that I champion putting on instead of like Hey Bear Sensory, which is just a bunch of dancing vegetables.
Or Coco Melon, but that's probably aimed for an even smaller audience.
Yeah, or Baby Shark.
I did see this morning while sharing the retrospective on the Twitter, someone was like, we don't watch Coco Melon in this house. And it's just a baby on a bed watching the TV screen, and they pan the camera to the screen and it's Godzilla versus Kong. And I'm like, I'm sure the baby's entertained by all the colours, but a baby should not be watching this. I don't think it's teaching the right lessons.
Yeah, whereas I was brought up on like Thomas the Tank Engine and then eventually Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, Ninja...
Or Hero Turtles, as they are for us.
It's one of those weird fucking, like, Mandela effect things, because I remember them being called Ninja Turtles, but in Britain they were called Hero Turtles, so I don't know where I got that from.
Yeah, so you probably looked it up out of nostalgia and saw Ninja Turtles.
I don't know, man. I just don't know. Very weird. But yeah, very fucking contrasting parts of your childhood. Here's Thomas the Tank with fucking Richard Starkey. And then here's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who fight with nunchucks and sais and ninja swords, but never use them. Yeah.
It's like He-Man, isn't it? He's got the fucking sword, but he only ever throws it. He never hits anybody with it.
It's the law, man. It's like how Transformers gets to be brutal as fuck because they're robots, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And all the blood and guts from Power Rangers is just sparks.
It is. Oh, man. Fucking can't believe someone else did our podcast Rangers idea after we gave up.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to our usual wind down, shall we, Rick? Let's hear your standout favourite moment.
I think it was when Bingo turned the tables on Bluey and just took it as a time to go, you always never have let me have a turn. Just like emphasizing how much younger that she is, while also, still being a cognizant and sapient, sentient person already.
I totally get you. I know Bluey's 6. I assume Bingo's like 3?
Yeah, or 4 or something like that. Like, old enough to form sentences, old enough to form thoughts, not old enough to go to big school.
Here's my problem, Rick, is I generally have no idea when it comes to ages, what age kids start being able to do that. I'm terrible at this.
Yeah, and it varies from child to child, and different children prioritize different things. Like, we've got one friendly child who is 3 years old and can already read his own name, so he knows which Christmas presents are for him. But he has no interest in shitting in a toilet.
Oh, potty training's a fucking wild beast anyway, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. He'd rather learn to read than learn how to stop shitting his pants.
I think one of my favourite jokes about this is, funny enough, an Australian comedian called Jim Jeffries, where he says he's having a conversation with his mate, and his son will come in, and his son's like 4, and he just goes up to his dad, I shit myself, and
just did a big stinky poo.
And the guy he's talking to just goes, again? Oh, come on, why didn't you use the toilet? And the son just goes, are we going to have this conversation every time? And it's just like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. It's so funny. Oh, Jim Jeffries is great. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but I find him hilarious.
Yeah. But do you have a favourite moment?
It's hard, really, because the whole episode was just generally cute. I think because it reminded me and my silliness with my dogs, the bongo bottom got a bit of a chuckle out of me.
Yeah, bongos. Bongos. Bongos.
It's good. And, like, if you've ever... I don't know how it translates to children, but, like, with dogs, like, they do like it when you give them a little bit of a bum pat. It's very funny.
Yeah, bum pat and just attention in general. And I also like how Mum just starts grooving out to it.
Yeah, Mama got the booty.
Yeah.
I immediately stopped after that because I'm just thinking, oh fuck, how much Rule 34 do you think there are of the parents?
Let's find out.
I don't want you to do that. I want to live in ignorance, please. So with that,
okay, I'll have this just for me then.
That's fine. Be careful what you type in because again, Bluey and Bingo are like 6 and under, and I don't put it past the internet to draw weird shit. Anyway, Rick, let's get down to it. Can't only talk about the good, can we? Do you also have a bad thing to talk about it? AKA, what's your weakest link?
Just that Mom wasn't in it enough a lot, so basically she showed up just to leave.
Your mind is in the Rule 34 gutter, my friend.
Well, like, it's one of those. I like the family, and maybe they could have had more of all of the family when it was just the 3 out of the 4. Like, I don't think it was a bad episode. I think the only downside, I guess, is like this one gets shown a lot.
Does it?
Yeah, like if you see it on the TV, it tends to be like season 1 episodes instead of ones that are later on. A bit like The Simpsons. Like, if they need to show an entire series of The Simpsons, they're going to show a season 1.
I don't think that's true though, because I think they know season 1's the worst. I think what you're saying is correct in like 1999.
Yeah. But yes, that's going to be my rather milquetoast weakest link. Do you have a weakest link?
I gotta be honest with you. The episode was so short and just generally fun. No.
Yeah.
It was
happy enough with that.
Like, yeah, it's one of these really fun things where we've done short episodes in the past. Usually when we have to record a bunch of shit because Rick's going out of fucking country for a month.
Yeah.
And it's always the same thing where it's like, if it's good, you can find a million fucking best moments. If it's bad, you can find a bunch of weakest links. But if it's one or the other, the upper one, you're going to struggle to find something good or bad to say about it. And it was just fine. It was good.
Yeah. Also, Dad has 3 times as much as Mom.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. What, is there a bunch of neighbourhood mums and he's banging all of them? What?
I don't know.
Is there loads of solo shots?
Yeah, I'm not looking at all the dad ones, funnily enough.
Well, I'm curious. It's for research, Rick. Do it. You're the one who went down this fucking hole.
Okay, I'm down the Bluey rabbit hole. Okay, what's in the dad ones? Okay, there's a lot of solo shots.
Please tell me there's like 1 or 2 of him and just Brian Griffin or something stupid.
I've not seen a Brian Griffin one yet. That's on page 1.
How many pages are there?
I just sent you a little image. Yeah, there's about 500 of Mum and about 1,500 of Dad. That's of images. Pages is at least 18, at least 26.
I didn't know these characters had names. So I'm assuming Bandit is the dad and Chili is the mum.
Yeah, Bandit's the dad, Chili's the mum.
Oh fucking! I didn't want to know this cursed information, but seeing as Rick has shared it, there's 1,552 of the dad, 450 of the mum. There's 2,500 plus of just Bluey the series, which, if we're being really negative, means there's 1,000-ish that don't involve the parents, which is concerning.
Yeah, there's also some of Chili that are Chili brackets Bluey and not Chili Healer.
Fair enough.
But that's like less than the 500 or whatever.
This is cursed knowledge. Anyway, Rick, who gets your MVP today?
My MVP is Bandit, because he's the one who put the most effort into dealing with bullshit.
I get you.
With a slight side effect of the main creator being the main voice of him, also getting a little nod. But yeah, it's mostly just going to Bandit.
It's one of those where you saying him putting up with all the bullshit. I totally agree, because there's like 3 moments where I'm like, I'd be done.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like, it broke, it don't work no more, it's going on the top shelf. Yeah, how about you? Do you have an MVP?
Yeah, my MVP is going to go to Bingo, because I kind of agree with you in that the dad was probably the main focal piece of this episode and he was very fun. But Bingo had a very nice lesson to show the audience, and just in general, both Bingo and Bluey are very adorable. If they were dogs, I would pet them.
Yeah, totally. And they're both like endemic to Australia as subspecies, the red healer and the blue healer.
I thought they were Australian shepherds.
Well, they are. That's what Australian shepherd dogs are. They're healers. Instead of like rounding up and barking and things, they will nip at the heels of the sheep.
I didn't say otherwise. I just didn't realise they were called healers.
Yeah.
I didn't argue with anything you said.
Yeah, I once stayed in a house with a healer, and if you went to the toilet and he was the only one, and you were the only one like live, he would nip at your heels to make sure you got to the toilet okay. Sure,
dogs would be weird like that, man.
Yeah.
Never trust a Chihuahua.
No. With all their inbred mind goblins.
They will kill you. They've got some kind of Napoleon complex, and I can't decipher it, except for my Chihuahua. She's lovely.
Yeah, because you can pick her up and give her attention.
She has never bitten anyone. She's never growled at anyone. She's never done anything that I associate with Chihuahuas. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, she's just adorable like that. Anyway, before we get too bogged down in personal shit, thanks for watching. Thanks for making it this far. I appreciate it was mostly a news episode, but, that's what happens when Rick goes away.
Yep. It was a post-Xmas catch-up and beginning of the year for everybody. So I guess this is the first... This is actually the first thing we've recorded in the new year, but not the first thing to be released in the new year.
Yes, because the last thing was technically done on December. Yeah. Although, yeah. But yeah, anyway, I digress. Thanks for making it this far. You're our favourite people. We have the comment section down below on YouTube and Spotify. Let us know what you think of Bluey, what you thought of any of the news story we mentioned or other things we discussed, and just in general, let us know what you want to see from us in the brand new year of 2025. Like, we've got rough ideas, but that really is all they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Any suggestions is great. Even mostly wholesome ones like Bluey.
Exactly. We also have an email address for those of you not watching via one of the commentable sites. I could have worded that better. But yes, that email address is
nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com.
Absolutely. We also have Twitter, although we're probably going to be migrating to Blue Sky at some point.
Bluey Sky, hee.
But yes, thanks for watching again. Let us know suggestions for future episodes and what you thought of Bluey. Should we do more Bluey? Bluey might be a decent candidate to take over for regular show.
Non-stop Bluey.
I mean...
Hey, it's wholesome. We might swear a bit, but...
Don't worry, we've got about 3 years until we have to worry about that.
Yeah. Plus, if you're an Australian child, you probably heard worse.
And on that bombshell, join us again next week, where hopefully we're going to do Squid Game, but that's subject to change.
Bye, everybody.